Good evening, good morning if you're in Australia or that part of the world, and it's in the middle of the night in Europe. So I don't expect many of my kin to be awake over there. Anyways, so I'm here by request for you, Samantha. She's like, you gotta do a video to calm us all down about the restrictions. So this is just for you, Samantha. So in Alberta, we had oh, I'm getting my downloads through as soon as I did this. Isn't that fun and exciting? So firstly, before I even get started, do you know what I did today? I'm going to show you what I did today. Now, try not to be too jealous is all I have to say. Just please try not to be too jealous. Okay? Is there anyone sexier than that making out with a tree? Hey? I went to the mountains. I was in Canmore today, so you can see some beautiful mountains. Okay, so I'm going to show you this mountain because it's so funny. So, see that? We call it Nipple Mountain. That's literally a nipple at the top. And guess where we got our water from? Right there at the bottom of Nipple Mountain. So there you have it. I spent a beautiful day out in the forest. I was trying to take some really great pictures of how tall the trees are. And yeah, looks awesome. And shall look CGI. I used photo forensic. Oh, okay, cool. So what we're having happen now, kids? Um, yes. There. Okay, so I haven't listened to Gene Decodes. There, it is. It's in my. I have not been on my Telegram for 3 days. Okay, I've been doing a lot of internal work to get over some personal stuff that I have going on behind the scenes. So I've been spending a lot of time away from Telegram and finding out new information. I didn't even know what the new restrictions are. I was like, I had to go read them while I was in the bathtub and I started laughing. So, of course, I was going to laugh. So, what the new restrictions are before I get started is basically they're clamping down kind of like Manitoba. My friend just drove out here from Manitoba and he goes, yeah, you can buy snow pants, but you can't buy long underwear right now in Manitoba. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? And so they've got all these essential items. So what's going on right now, and I'll just speak to Calgary specifically. We have so many distractions. They're first trying to put fluoride in our water again. And so there's lots of people complaining about that. Now they've like basically said you can't do outdoor gatherings again, and you can't have more than 15% of the capacity of any restaurant, no more than 5 people in a store. Like it's just gotten ridiculous, like literally. And the reason why they're doing this is because do you know where that monolith showed up yesterday? Good old Canmore. That's where I went today. So I'm going to show you what happened yesterday. My friends Kelly and Wes were out in Banff Canmore area, and we've already talked about Banff and Canmore, or Banff area, which in Canmore's right beside it for everybody who doesn't know. And then it's an hour drive to Calgary, and then it's about a 7-hour drive up north to Cold Lake. So there's a little L going on there of deep underground things. Okay. So the monolith showed up yesterday. I'll just show you. My friend sent it to me, Kelly and Wes, my lovely friends. Where did I put it? I just couldn't stop laughing, to be honest. Heck, there it is. So this was right outside, 50 feet outside there this morning, yesterday. And there's another picture of it, and I showed it. So what I think is going on is that, like, the first place I saw it show up, those monoliths, were in the desert. And I'm like, well, I know what goes on in the desert mostly, so with things underground. So I looked at it as a sign of victory. And then one of my friends made a comment on my page about it and kind of confirmed it, or I felt like the vibration matched. So I think they're kind of like statues they're putting everywhere to confirm that they've won in that particular area, if that makes any sense down below. So if it's out in Banff and Canmore area, I'm like, yahoo! That's what I thought. And it's kind of like a positive distraction because the only people that really know about that monolith, I think, are isn't it people in our group? I don't think it's floating around on mainstream media. I don't know. And if well, so yeah. Anyways, it is man-made. Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. That's why I think it's just like they're taking it to show us in places. So in our city, personally, because of all these new restrictions, um, I am not going to change anything that I'm doing. First of all, because it's still a mandate. So the province of Alberta has gone and said all of these rules, and it's not a law. And that's where people are getting misconstrued in thinking that it's a law. So they're trying to wake more people up that are sleeping, going, hey, wait a second. I thought flatten the curve was 2 weeks after. Hey, wait a second. Mm, like, who's died? And I want to show you something just for further proof of it. I was going, actually, I went and got some spring rolls, vegetarian spring rolls from the faux restaurant on the corner there, Fa. And um, I was standing outside smoking my one hitter, and they're playing Christmas music on the radio. And the announcer comes up. It's 11 minutes before the news, and sadly, all these restrictions. But on a positive note, the first woman in the UK got the very first COVID vaccine today, and she's fine. Let's have a look at that woman, shall we? Could we? Let's go. Hmm. So this is what I want you guys to pay attention to right now. Where did that big picture stream go? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna cover up these pictures. Oh, here we go. Just click on the first one. So there you go. See that lady? Oh, look, she's wearing the same dress. Oh, look, there she is again. Okay, she's supposed to be 90, by the way. Does that girl look 90 to you? I'll show you another picture. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to show you this link. So, come on, get out of there. So, I'm going to hold it up there and then hold up what it says there. The lady's name. She died in 2008. That girl gets around. Like these are paid crisis actors, period. End of story. It's a false flag, please. So, the whole thing with these restrictions too, they're really trying to get to the point of uh waking people up just at a big huge level. It's like, what is it going to take? There was 400 people in Chinook Mall the other day, side to side, eating at the food court. Literally 400 people in the mall in the food court. Okay, that was just a couple of days ago. Somebody posted and I shared it back on my page. Thank you, Misty, for posting that. It was awesome. So I'm like, okay, so nobody at that friggin' mall has put two and two together that we can all hang out in this big indoor space eating off disgusting trays. Nobody's wiping every single chair and table down every single time. Nobody's properly social distancing, blah, 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 blah. If the frickin' masks work, then why is everybody yelling at us and all of this stuff? Like, this is where the ridiculous becomes more ridiculous. So that's what people are trying to get at is like, So you can't buy long underpants to go in your snowsuit. You better hope that the ones you farted in and blew holes in last year are going to hold out this year because the Grinch is trying to take away our Christmas. So all of these restrictions can be removed just as quick as they went up, just so you know. So don't panic and think we're going to be in this silly matrix forever. Okay. So this is when common sense prevails. All right. So I want to just put that question out to these people who don't want to have Christmas with us. Go, um, so let me get this straight. I can go into a Costco or a Walmart or a superstore, and I've walked around unmasked this whole time for 9 months. I haven't even had a cold, dude, and I do have lupus. So my question is, who's washing all these door handles? Like, that's all you have to ask people. Who's washing the door handles when you go into the mall? I don't, that's just probably the most logical thing. And the other question I have, just simply put, well, gee, Mayor Nancy, I can see her wearing a new purple face thing on there that looks like women's panties when he comes out and announced it. I swear that's what our mayor's got on his face is women's panties, just cut into a nice little thing. Anyways, it's all of this is for the show of the people. Like the cognitive dissonance is so, yes, Amber, Nancy is gone. So we're seeing his other Jabba the Hutt person up there. I swear I want to do a little thing with the guy from Star Wars going, "Hey, you guys all have to do this." That's who our mayor is. He's just a big slug looking piece of poop. I'm not a fan, never have been. And if you haven't heard this story about I'll tell you my mayor of Calgary story just to make you laugh. Oh, it'll raise your vibrations. It makes me laugh every time I tell it. So I was working at this crappy restaurant. I won't say which one, but it was open from 6 to 3. And it was an okay place to work for a while when it was new. And within the first 6 months, and the owners were from, they spoke Farsi. I can't remember where they're from. And I learned a little bit of Farsi, and the family was pretty fun to work for at first. And then the mayor came in there, and one day for a Sunday lunch or whatever, and it was busy. I'm talking the place was jam packed Sunday brunch, and he comes strolling in there. Of course, they gave him a table right away. La 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 la. And the manager's like, "Come over here, come get a picture." And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Come here and come get a picture." And I was like, "No." So I kept dodging around for a good 15 or 20 minutes. And finally, they just took the picture. The whole staff was in this picture with the mayor, except for me. I was squatting down by a table, and it was like a table. It was two young boys. They were probably like, I don't know, 11 and maybe 8 or something, and the parents. And they're like, "Why don't you go get a picture? Go get in the picture." And I'm like, "I got 2 words for you. Doug Ford. No thanks." They burst out laughing. And the kids were looking at me, and I'm like, "Shh, I'm in the witness protection program. Don't tell anybody." Like I was making all these jokes by the table. So, anyways, yeah, I won't have anything to do with getting pictures with famous people because now look at, aren't you glad I didn't? Spidey senses, and that was 2013. That was 7 years ago. 7 years ago. I've never voted for the guy, just so you know. So, yeah. So, what we have going on in this area here is the biggest distraction from Mr. Ding Dong because he doesn't want you to find out what he's been up to with these COVID Dominion voting machines. They're one and the same. So, it all has to do with Glaxo and Pfizer and the Wuhan lab. And the Wuhan lab, and that goes Pfizer goes to BlackRock, and then we all know that Turdo is part of the BlackRock crap. So who you don't tell anybody, don't, because it gets crazier from there. Germany's involved in that. Germany's the one who built the Wuhan factory. Woo-wee! It's so exciting. So it's just a big, huge circle turd loop. And yes, Kenny is definitely a puppet from the dark side. So how you guys can tell the difference? It's the easiest thing worldwide. Worldwide. Whoever's promoting this, and that's their only story, is either BID one, and we all need to, enter the communist regime even further that we've been mandated to. Mandate, I thought it was when two dudes went shopping for fish and tackle. That's what I thought a mandate was. Not here. Mandate ain't a law. And a mandate is against a corporation, not against a living being. So that's why these Alberta restrictions don't mean anything to me personally, because I'm a living woman, and I don't consent to enter into any contract with those ridiculous mandate things. So that's how I'm living my life. And I've literally said that to the police too. Every time the police come up, I say the same thing. Like, if they're just like, hey, if I'm just walking by, it's like, obviously, I'm not going to say that right second one. But if I'm standing on City Hall and I'm about to sing a song, I'm going to say stuff like that. So, but what I found interesting in Calgary, and I want to tell everybody how different it was between last weekend at the Walk for Freedom uh, and the week after. So the last two walks for freedom, the one from last Saturday and the one before. So the police were out in full force both Saturdays there. And then Sunday, they were threatening to give Pastor Art a ticket. So that was not this past Sunday, the Sunday before. So they were all out there. Nobody got a ticket on Saturday or Sunday, but they got tickets. 6 people got tickets in the middle of the week. And those 6 people that got tickets were all either speakers or organizers of the event. Now, Freedom, I got it right here. I'm not worried about getting a ticket. Neither should you if you live in Canada, or I'm not sure, but I'm sure you've got groups doing this now. But freedomforcanada.com, they are helping people with tickets, and so is Rebel Media. So Rebel Media here, Kian, I can't say his last name, but Kian, who did the really awesome thing on City Hall steps when we were singing in the background. He actually just a couple of days ago was at the Alberta Legislature building, and he got shoved aside by the communications manager wearing a mask. So she disobeyed the actual law. You can see the person he's standing in the same spot the entire time. And Rachel Notley comes out there, the NDP person, and she's got her face thing on, and her team comes out there and they have their face things on. And he was the very first reporter there, and she would not answer any of his questions. And then she phoned the sheriff on him. And so the sheriffs looked at the videotape. You can see everything there, how the communications manager shoved him out of the way and stuff. So this is what they're really trying to do, is they're trying to show us that they're not abiding by their own rules either. Okay, they are not abiding by their own news either, or their own rules and regulations. So if you want to maintain those social distancing and all that crap, then follow your own rules. But they're not even doing it. And the puppets that are running out this show, to me, they are literally trying to wake the sleeping people up. I'm not talking that's what they're with the tighter restrictions. I'm talking like, what is it going to take for people to realize how big of a scam this whole thing has been? How come you can go into all these big grocery stores? Is there a person standing there squirting hand sanitizer on everything still? No, no. Like, everybody knows what's going on, but they just don't, wanna wake up to it. So, um, yes, Bexty, yes, Kian Bexty, yes, thank you. Bexte, Bexte. Yes, so he is, like, a really great reporter. Go watch Rebel Media, by the way, in Canada. They're doing a lot of great stories, and they're handing out, "I'm exempt" mask buttons when you see them walking around. Sheila was here, last, Saturday, so Kian was here Saturday and Sunday, the following, and he did a really great report. And then a couple days later, the tickets were issued. And then Sheila was here on Saturday for the Walk for Freedom, and she was handing out tickets and kind of interviewing people on the street. And I had a little chat with her just quickly. And then she was videotaping all the Freedom Rally and everything. So, they know what's going on. They're there to report the truth. They're there as well saying, "Sell the CBC," I think is their shirt logos. So they are reporting as much truthful information as they can, and I think Kian went to, Steinbach, Manitoba. I've been there. "Hello, Steinbach. Your hospital is not busy as CBC reported." Like, so that's what they're trying to clue people in. Like, CBC did a big thing on Steinbeck's hospital so busy, the whole parking lot was full of employees' cars. I can tell you that hospital is not that big. So I'm like, why are they, yeah, CBC is a joke. So they all want to hide behind this scam as long as they can. Oh, there's a lot of people out there that are still maintaining, like, normal service, even though, and I say normal, like, if you're mask exempt, they're not even worrying about you. So that's where we're at in Canada, is they're really trying to show people, like, "Wake up, wake up, wake up, let's wake up more." So that's what I think is happening, and I think the victory, as far as the little statue that's been floating around, I think it's hilarious. It's a little mini distraction, but to me, it could be, um, again, like I said, telling us where they are winning in areas. So I'm just trying to read some of your stuff here. Yes. Calgary Police is the city police, and RCMP work on outside of oh, thank you. Samantha says David Menzies did some great coverage of the Adamson barbecue revolt. Yeah, I saw that. It was really good. Yeah, so I'm going to show everybody because I don't care, Wendy, that you said fuck. So funny they make you hold the things up for review. Like, I need my glasses fixed. Did I hear about Israel's space announcement? No, not yet. But I imagine that globally, we're going to see many more countries come up with space programs because, um, and Israel, that's really interesting too. That's awesome, actually. I think. I don't know. I don't think it's such a bad thing because I think where we're moving to is a global awareness about space in general. Like, that's what the Great Awakening map is behind us. It's secret space program ain't so secret anymore. Everybody's seeing spaceships and stuff like that. And I think as the veil gets thinner and thinner, we're gonna see that. And that's why people are holding towards their true frequency. So um they admitted ET said humanity not ready to know the truth. Yes. Humanity's not quite ready to know the truth because they're not even quite ready to know the truth about Trump. Let's be honest. They haven't eaten that sandwich of, like, humble pie, if you will, on their feelings towards somebody that they disliked for a while. So we have to wait for that election stuff to happen and then find out that I think things are just going to be slowly dropped to us like seeds again, to help us get through these transitions. So I'm not panicked about anything, like literally nothing. And I want to tell you an awesome story. Okay. An amazing story today. This is so fabulous. Mm. So I get a call from Amelia, and she asked me if I want to go get some water today. This delicious Canmore fresh water. So flippin' good. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, I was doing that. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna go out smoke. I don't know. I didn't know what I was feeling. And so she calls me, and I call her, like, I message back the driver, and I said, yes, I want to go. I changed my mind. I want to go. I need to get out of the city. What was I thinking? So we went for, oh, what do I look for in those cloak chips? What does this look like? Clouds were amazing tonight. Yes, they were. But you have no idea what the alien ships look like. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a sec. So, anyways, we go to the bottom of Nipple Mountain, and we walk up to the trail, get our water out of the spring, and it's so awesome. We come down there, and I do a Facebook Live. I'm like just chit chatting, and then this car rolls up, and out from this car is this beautiful gray haired lady. It's like really curly, spirally hair. Hi, Suzanne. And she opens the door, and it's this older fellow, and he's got, like, I can't even describe the character in this man's face, okay? But it was their energy. It was like, whoo, when they got out of the car, I could hear it. It's so amazing. And so the older man, he was quite tall. It's quite slippery to get off the side of the road and onto the path and then go up to the bank. And I said to him, I'm on the path, and he's standing up here. I said, do you want me to come help you? I said, I used to be a healthcare aide, so I'm pretty adept in lift and transfer, but well, I'm going to show you where to step and how to step. And he's like, okay. So I went up there, and we walked down the path, and he was quite good at, whatever. And he goes, man, it's never been like this. We've been coming here every year for 20 years, and it's never been this icy. And I said, well, where are you from? And so we talked briefly. And this was the most fascinating man I could have bumped into. He's literally the only person I talked to today, besides YouTube land and Facebook. But he's the only person that I talked to in person besides his wife. Guess what his name was? Sequoia. I'm not even joking you. He was so lit. It was so amazing. Um, I don't know why you're on here saying what you're saying. Okay, remove you. There's somebody just going crazy. Let's just block this. Put user in a timeout. Yes. Just go away. Anyways, as soon as you write the IS, that word Israel, you get people dropping dumb shit in your thing, just so you know. Anyways, but yes, Sequoia was amazing. So we had a chat, and I hope they're going to come to, where did that piece of paper go? This is still happening. You Walk for Freedom at City Hall on December 12th. Okay. So you're welcome. Get out of here. Sequoia is your daughter's name. Oh, that Pete's No Nukes. That's amazing. I didn't even notice that guy was doing it. I just all of a sudden saw this random shit coming up here, and he was just like, cuckoo. We'll try and get rid of him permanently. See if I can remove him or block. I don't know how to do this. Hide user. Yes. Let's get rid of that. Anyways. So, but yeah, we had a really great chat, and it was amazing how we connected just in about 5 minutes of having a conversation. And he gave me just the most beautiful hug. And Suzanne and I had a really great chat about the machines and everything we just talked about, actually. And she's like, wow, that's just, oh, so much. She just knew everything that I knew. And she's like, isn't this crazy? And I'm like, it's so crazy. So I said, "We're supposed to be here right now. This is when we decided to meet here." And he goes, "Oh, I know." It was so serendipitous. I don't care what anybody says. You don't stand at the bottom of Nipple Mountain drinking Nipple Mountain water right from the prana of Mother Earth and not find some spiritually blessed people that are so lit and just so thankful to be alive during this time. Like, just so thankful. And they're like, "Well, what do we do? What can we do?" And I said, "Just keep imagining a world where things are just so beautiful and divine because that's what we're coming up to." So he goes, "Isn't it amazing? Like a few years ago, had we talked like this, people would have locked us in the nut house." And I'm like, "For sure." So he was so cool, just so cool. Mm. Oh, I love you. So thirsty. I've drank probably about 2 liters of water already today, and I'm still dehydrated. And I have my tea in my hand too. So serendipitous, great word. Oh, thank you. Mm. Sequoia thinks you are a strong being. Aw, that's nice. So yes, we just had such a great day. So that's how I spent my day today is making out with trees and raising my vibrations. And I didn't really even know what any of this ballyhoo was going on. So I have to show you some more pictures from my day just because they were that special. Here's one where I had a great smoke. I'm just kidding. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I love taking flip. I love taking photos that I hope you can see it. That is literally right up close to moss, and, you need to drink a lot of water. Oh, yes, with the zeolite intake. Totally, you got that right. So, and also ascension makes you so thirsty. So and I love this picture too because it's all about perspective. So, I don't know if you can see that, but it's at the top of a log, and then I have it going all the way down blurry, like it's a little ant's point of view. And I always like taking a time out to see something either super close up like that, just because you don't get to see it with your own eyes sometimes, all the awesome stuff that's in there. And if you have it helps to have a good camera. But like, okay, so this is moss too. But when you blow it up, it's like there's a little village in there. And I haven't eaten mushrooms today, so don't think we went on a mushroom trip or anything. And that's what else I was gonna say. Is anybody who's thinking about doing psychedelics right now, don't. Just don't. Please. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, so here's some great mountain pictures. Because sharing is caring. Isn't that gorgeous? It was so beautiful today. Like, just absolutely divine. I really connected. Oh, here's one for all of you who were teasing me about saying about. Here's a boot. We found a boot next to a stop sign. You're welcome. I literally just took that picture for you guys. Oh, yeah, that's my woohoo sense of humor. So, yes, Canmore is very, very beautiful. So there's what it looks like right in the city of Canmore. You can see those beautiful mountains. So it was kind of it wasn't cold out today actually at all. It was beautiful. So yes, and when I said we were driving back from the mountains, and I said to my friends, I'm like, coming out here for like 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon, just even to get water and drinking water and taking photos and, singing, car singing on the way there, whatever you're doing, hiking and just going for a little hike, that is equivalent to me to spending 20 or 30 minutes in your apartment every day meditating for like a month. Like, I'm not joking. It's like, I just feel like, "Oh, I feel so good." I don't even care about nothing. Like, I just don't. It's so, like, detoxifying. It's so detoxifying to recenter yourself with Mother Nature, like, back to the 432 hertz of sitting on a tree stump and just appreciating dead wood around that has fallen and is now still giving nutrients to the rest of the earth, and, like, just simply being in that smell. We can smell because we don't have that on our face. Yay. Yeah, it's great. So, what about Wakey and the I don't know what you're talking about because 'cause I'm a little bit doop doop today. Just finished putting up my, Christmas tree. Yeah, I don't do any of that Christmas stuff. I've never really been on, the Christmas, uh, tree thing. I don't know why, I don't know. It's not my kids when my kids were little, of course, I had them, but when my youngest son was 12 or 13, probably last time we had a Christmas tree. So that was about 8 years ago. And I think maybe one year 6 years ago, we had a silk tree, like one of those fake '80s ones, and we put some beads on it. That's what we did. It's like, whatever. So, yeah, it's nice, Wendy, if you live in the woods. That's awesome. So, where do you live? You live here in Alberta, obviously, and you get anxious when you go up to Edmonton? Yeah, I do too. I've lived in Edmonton, actually. I lived up by, Moose Lake and stuff too, so hate Halloween, but you love Christmas. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the music. I'm not a big fan of, all I mean, the lights are pretty and stuff, but I'm not even joking. In some areas in Calgary, I was on the bus last year riding through the subdivisions just on some of the new routes for fun. I'm not joking. And they have their Christmas lights up in January and February and a couple of subdivisions. So I just called them the Christmas subdivisions because they never took down their Christmas decorations. I'm not kidding. So how long does Christmas really need to go on? I ask you. Whew, get with it. Yes. Actually, Edmonton, I think it has dark energy, but I think Calgary is a little bit worse than that, believe it or not. Yes, Calgary, that's why there's so many light workers that live here and are drawn here, and they can't leave here until they've done their work. So that's why I'm not haven't left here yet. So when I'm done, I guess I can leave. They'll let me go. So, yeah, I like the things I like about Christmas. Like, I don't even like saying happy holidays. Maybe I am a Grinch. My kids have called me the Grinch. So what a perfect place to put it in the show is like the Grinch. So, and now I learned that when we cut down Christmas trees, we're cutting down the tree of life every year. So I'm like, well, good thing I wasn't really into the Christmas thing. I just felt a little bit better. So yeah, you hated Calgary for a year. Yeah, oh, you're a Newfie transplant. Wendy's a Newfie transplant. So I'm going to, um, oh, Samantha felt that in Edmonton that there was negative vibes, but feel better in Calgary. That's interesting. Hmm. Anybody else live in Calgary for a while? Always felt a little crazy. Got my attitude. Yes, attitude in Calgary. We do have some attitude here. So some think I do psychedelics because of my handler. What? I don't know what that means. I forage and collect. Oh, you sweat. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Everyone calls me Grinch. Me too. Cheers to the Grinches out there. I don't know. I was never into the whole consumerism thing of Christmas. And it goes right back to when I was 6 years old and I found out Santa wasn't real. and the whole thing was a scam. And I don't want to tell you that nasty, sad story about how I found out. My parents were arguing in the living room very violently, trying to put together, I think, my brother's tricycle. And yeah, that ended like I was like, "There's no Santa?" Like, I was so mortified. So, yeah, mm. Oh, Pat lived here for 25 years and escaped to BC. Yeah, I lived in BC, actually, I was talking about it. I've lived in BC from the time I was, probably 1 until I was 28. I only spent, or yeah, 28 or so. I've spent probably half my life in BC and half my life in Alberta. So, and then 16 countries and 50 homes, 50 jobs, and just like that lady who got the injection, she got around. So, um, talks about the trees, says not to cut it down. That's right. Yeah, that's Geratin. Is that what you're saying? I should put my glasses on. Swan Hills. Ooh, you lived in Swan Hills, Samantha. Uh, is that because of the Dumbs? Maybe perhaps. I do know there's still like there is ancient stuff all the way through our lovely province and then up through the mountains. That anywhere where there's natural parks and stuff like that, and Sasquatch sightings, it's pretty much where you can expect to see activity, and also in parts like going out to Saskatchewan and then all the way out to Lake Superior, and then where that big uh, earthquake was in Turkey and stuff like that. There's all these things underneath. So I was actually just talking to my friend today about there was a big sinkhole in Manitoba on this road I used to drive all the time. And he was telling me how it got created because it happened, I think, the year or two after I left. And so he told me that one of the farmers decided to reroute this natural stream. And what that did was ended up taking out a whole pile of road and destruction down the way. It washed it right out. And so it caused quite a lot of land development problems for quite some time. But that was one of the things that was discussed when I got fired from that very area at the annual general meeting. So when I was fired for speaking out about the water quality, all I did was actually introduce my friend who spoke out about the water quality in the area, and I got canned for it. So, but yeah, may I ask, heard which I'm just watching. I'm so sick of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Me too. Amber, may I ask where you heard what? Oh, about the Dumbs. Oh, it was all over the news. I don't know what Amber. Oh, okay. Oh, about the Edmonton lockdowns. Oh, that's what she said. Okay. We have the dark woods very close by here. Um, so yes, lots is happening in the next 6 weeks. And it goes back to the executive orders that were signed on November 2nd. So, what I'm going to challenge everybody to do right now, and this will help cure your anxiety, okay? And I was trying to do it quite a bit a few weeks ago, and I stopped doing it, is watching the executive orders. I want you to start reading the executive orders every day and seeing what it says in the executive orders. Okay. Because that will calm down what's going to happen in your mind, I think. There's a lot happening in those executive orders that are all part of this global health that's coming out. So, thank you. My vibe is so good. It's nice to hear your thoughts. Oh, thank you. How are the rescued kids? You haven't heard about them. So, um, most of the DUMBs, as far as I know, what I'm feeling is the DUMBs in Calgary. We had a lot of them cleaned out, like a big, huge portion right under the South and stuff. We all felt it here in April 17th, 18th, 19th. And then they've been doing more and more gradually as it goes along. And I thought back in September, we were probably about 50. This is just by my intuition, okay? I haven't listened to Gene Decodes in months. I'm not going to exaggerate. I have not listened to his stuff. So I have people telling me what he said, but I haven't listened to a show. It's been most of my energy is going to read documents and news clippings and seeing little short video clips about what people are going to do about. So what they're doing, he signed an executive order today about vaccines. So, okay. So vaccines, please don't worry about vaccines, even if that's what Trump's executive order is, because you need to go back to a couple years ago in his executive order when he was saying that they were re-looking at how they make the vaccines. So Trump is not going to clear kids out of the tunnels for the last year or 5 years and get rid of all of the people harming us just to inject us with a poison. You do know that, right? I really hope you do know that in your heart of hearts. We have free will. We have the right to say no. We are not going to be forced to do anything. That's what this is all about. Something's going on here. I can literally feel the earth moving right now. If anybody else is in Calgary right now, nobody's driving down my back alley. Literally, I'm feeling a tremor as we're talking. It's so freaking weird. Anyways, why is he saying America gets them first? Vaccines are mass arrests. That's why America gets them first. They need to clean up the garbage in America first. So if you put mass arrests where vaccines are, your mind will feel better. Okay? I know you will. You're not going to be arrested, are you? No, you're not going to be vaccinated because you haven't done anything wrong. So that's oh, that's cute. Tiggs is saying listening, making a fairy house, tree of life and a fairy house. So just say like the mass arrests have to happen in the United States first because they have to show the rest of the world how corrupt everything was. And the Fed is tied to every bank in the entire world except for the 9 that Obama decided to bomb. So what's happening behind the scenes over the last 4 years is that well, even before 4 years, is the dismantling of the archaic systems. And we're already in 5D. We're there. So it's those old systems are falling down now. And part of that is the 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 contracts that were made, and those contracts won't hold energy or frequency anymore when it's full of love. So if we're vibrating higher and higher in love space and we're sending out the vibration of forgiveness, I'm going to take you simply back to Monsters Inc. If they made the children scream in terror and they were providing electricity, and then at the end of the movie all the children were laughing and it was making everything explode, that's what they're trying to stop us from doing right now, is raise our vibrations so we're blowing the energy off the grid, literally connecting up. So they want to make us scream to keep the vibrations lower. Does that make sense? I hope it's making sense. I didn't smoke that much before I talked. I'm just kidding. So what I'm asking everybody to do is focus on your frequency. And that's what I said this morning when we were talking about like what is your ego or where you're at. Because if you're constantly focusing on something that somebody might do to you, what are you attracting but that negative vibration? So I look at it as like nobody's gonna come at me, bro. That's what I'm literally saying. We have police surrounding me all the time. We have, like, people yelling. I don't in Canada, it literally I know it's worse in a lot of places in Canada than it is all over. It's worse in Canada right now than most places in Australia for getting yelled at and being in lockdown and all this baloney. You do know that, right? So this is to wake people up. Like, come on, Canada. What the hell are you waiting for, you passive aggressive bunch of pussies? Like, let's go. So, you know, yeah. Oh, good. Sheila's smoking while she listens. So, yeah. A lot of people explain it about um, the Monsters Inc. because it's a good analogy. We are so powerful, and that's what we've been covered up. We are so powerful, and we've had our pineal covered up. So the more we tap into our pineal and heart space, that frequency is getting brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And they're like, wait a second, but you can't have more than 10 people for turkey, even though there's thousands in the Costco, touching grocery carts and eating shitty pizza, and you're all smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol and not going for walks and not meditating. But you go ahead and be afraid of that COVID. Like, you know? So all I want for Christmas is world peace, you know? I'd like to see a bunch of smiling faces, hand in hand, you know, singing joyful songs about peace on earth, not Christmas carols, about peace on earth. So even if it's Imagine by John Lennon or something, Kumbaya for Pete's sake. I don't even know what that song means, but mm. So these new lockdowns are because Nancy was pissed that we were caroling on his street. It's all our fault, Samantha. Let's take accountability for it. And then she got all mad because we were singing carols on his steps right by City Hall. Or an empty. Let's feel all bad. So as if. So yes, they've been trying to dumb down consciousness for so long, but like I said, even meeting Sequoia today, by the side of Samantha, he can suck it. Oh yeah, he can suck it hard. My smelly toe jam, that's what he can suck. I honestly think Nancy's been dealt with. I think that's what all the helicopters we've been hearing in our city, like, they're doing shit at night, man. Like, I can hear choppers at like 12:30, 3 in the morning. There's no gang activity in our streets. There's none of that shit. I don't Has anybody heard of that shit lately? No, why? Because everybody's at home and they've got cameras everywhere you go, and people are like, "Whoa, I guess I shouldn't do that." Yeah. Anyways, but I'm just reading all the comments, so I'm not missing anybody. Here we go. It's not easy when people blame us. COVID is still going on because we're not wearing masks. Yeah, I asked them, or actually said to somebody today, I said, "Oh, I just tell people I already had COVID last year." And they look at me and I'm like, "Yeah, you can't get it again. You want a hug?" They're like, "Oh, yeah, I guess I never thought of it. If they had COVID, they're not going to be sick." Start telling people you already had it. You're over it. You lived, you survived. What difference does it make? Literally, what difference does it make? You don't know if you had it. You could have had it, could have gotten over it. Anyways, um, I already talked about the monoliths, Laura, at the beginning of the show. And I believe that they're just, I don't know who's ring-a-ding-a-ding me, but I think they're little mini distractions to show you with maybe where we've had success underneath. That's what I thought when I first saw them, because I think they came up in the desert, and I don't even know what part of the desert, which place. So if you can remind me, but um, yeah, people are afraid of each other. It's very unrealistic, but you have to remember they've been programmed over and over again, programmed. So cities that do freedom, walk for freedoms, I'm going to ask you to do something very important when you're doing your walk for freedom. It's very important to start reprogramming people. Okay. So when you're out there for your rallies, bring your drums and your tambourines and stuff. And there is a lady, don't, 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 bless her soul, for like 2 blocks, drove me mental. But literally, freedom, freedom, freedom. When you hear that enough, it is you're reprogramming, and it takes a while to get out of this Stockholm syndrome people are in. They're in a Stockholm syndrome type of place. Their captors are have them in a mental concentration camp. People don't realize that they're in a concentration camp. They're in a mental concentration camp of fear and ignorance of not knowing what's going on out there. So if they wanted to wake up and not be afraid anymore, they start seeing stuff. And that's when they change their frequency and get over that 4D bridge. But there's some people who are not going to wake up. And to be honest, if there was such a thing as that harmful thing that's going on, the vaccine, they can be first in line. They can be first in line to the FEMA camps. Nobody's stopping them. Nobody. Free will. But I can tell you that's not going to happen because in my heart of hearts, we wouldn't be this far ahead in our like rainbow bodies with all of these integrated codes coming and all of these frequencies and so close to the event on December 1st to just turn around next year and get stuck with something that's going to kill off 90% of the population. It doesn't make any logical sense at all. So they're telling us what their end game plan was. But I don't think they have one because who's going to carry it out? The minions are already getting arrested now. If our mayor is getting arrested, he's not a big ham and cheese. You know, he looks like ham and cheese, but he's not a big ham and cheese. So, um, Saturday in Regina, Freedom Rally. Yes. So Saskatoon had one. I talked about it. Had 500 people there. They drove out from hours and hours. Is it at 1 o'clock too? And that's what I think we should be doing is supporting each other's walk for freedoms. I know I have lots of friends who go and do these walks everywhere. So, yeah, Gitmo is full. Um, yeah, he definitely does not eat ham. Sam, that's true. He's a Muslim. Our mayor's a Muslim. So it's probably really offensive if I call him ham and cheese. So funny. We all need to laugh. I've been laughing all day, like all day. Amelia and I were just cracking up. So it's, how can I say this? I put myself in just such a different headspace than moving through these triggers that, um, I don't know. I can't even think of anything serious right now that I feel affected by. I'm serious. I can't think of one thing that I'm super affected by that's going out in the news because I'm just in such a high vibrational place. It was oh, I got the hiccups now. Oh my goodness, it was so much fun today, just being free again. So a lot will get death. Oh yes, for sure. Yeah. Hopefully they will be able to. Keeping track of positive tests would be like counting the number of ants that will walk by your house during the summer. Exactly. Hilarious. Peace, no nukes. That's pretty funny. Oh, hilarious. Okay, I hope my government gets arrested soon. She's making it hard to live. Oh, I know. Don't worry. That's the game we're watching. So the governor of or Como or whatever came out there and he's got his nipple ring showing. You know he's in control from the alliance. Because there's no way they would show you all of that stuff if they weren't in control of the alliance and they wouldn't be doing all of this. I guess, yeah, the Great Reset, and then, oh no, that's a conspiracy theory. Oh, we don't want to do lockdowns, and then this. So it's like, it's just a yo yo game with a bunch of yo yos on puppet strings. That's how I look at it right now. So the Grizzly Patriot is bringing folks from Saskatoon and meeting up with hugs over masks at the ledge, I think between 2 and 5. Okay, cool. Thanks. Um, Yeah, people need to stop doing the test, but, here's the thing, is some people aren't even going and getting tested, and they're getting positives mailed to their house, or they'll get one test. And I've known some workers that have gotten two positives, two negatives. It's such bullshit. So, um, reading. Oh, what was Emmy? Yeah, fantastic theater. The nipple rings were really ridiculous. I think the really things that I'm finding funny are the people that are very mannish, like that Lynette girl that I showed you the other day from Ancient Aliens. I forget who she is in the government. I think she's in California somewhere. She's some sort of person, political person. And everybody that has these mannish qualities, like Christina Tam or whatever her name is, Dr. Tam, who's not a doctor in Canada, they're actually men, and you can see their hair looking terrible, like they didn't get their roots done. They're running low on estrogen, and like their body is really getting riddled hard with just a lack of the stuff that it needs to keep that meat suit working to look like a woman. So they're looking horrible. And what's his face from Twitter? I mean, his beard, he looks like he was on the island with Forrest Gump there. Like, holy shit. Like, obviously, he's been in jail. They won't let him have a razor because he's taking the easy way out. His name's Jack Dorsey. So there's a lot of people who are coming out that coming out literally that are gonna you're gonna see have the gender be something that you didn't think was there, and then they're there, and then you're like, oh, no wonder we're all fucked in the head over sex stuff. So, mm, yeah, maybe they have kuru. Is it exactly right? Kuru is when you eat too many. It is Jack Dorsey. Thank you, Will. Uh, Kuru is when you eat human brains too much. And that's what one of the Rockefellers had when he went to go investigate a cannibalistic island. I don't know. And then they turned out to eat him, I think somebody said. So I don't know if that's actually true. Would have been funny if it had been, but so gross. Exactly. So gross. There's a lot of that's why Hillary, when you see some of the videos, she's like, because that's what it is. It's like a laughing, it's like mental. It's when you eat people's pineal glands, you're not a normal person, you're unconscious. So they start glitching hardcore. It's really messed up. That's why we don't eat people. So, yes. Green monkey kidneys. No, I don't know if I want to hear about, yeah, green monkey kidneys. Yes, we knew about Ellen and Michelle and J Lo and Lady Gaga. And, I was thinking about Amy Winehouse and Lady Gaga. They kind of look similar from the side profile. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are questionable. So, oh, I haven't looked. Oh, yeah, the latest double. I saw that. Hillary's latest double. I'm like, come on now. Put a little effort into that clone, would you? Jennifer Aniston. Oh yeah, that's a witch right there. Rihanna, all of those people, Beyonce. We're gonna see a lot of that stuff coming to fruition. Lots. So yeah, mad cannibal disease. Exactly. That's exact. Yes, J Lo is a fella. Yep. Yep. J Lo is a fella. And I heard that Bill Gates was a woman. So who knows? Does it matter? They're all unconscious ding dong meat suits, and most of them have been killed off. Like Bill Gates and Melinda Gates are killed. That's like 2013. India killed them for harming and killing almost 500,000 people there. So, how much will people know? I think by um, March, April, like around Easter, we're going to probably know mostly everything that's going on the planet. I think that's when all the planets and everything will allow in little drips. The frequencies will change and we'll be able to start healing really um, a lot. So, yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's Melinda Gates, not my friend Melinda. I'm just kidding. Because I heard Melinda was a man. J-Lo and Aniston. Yes, there's a lot that are we're gonna there's stuff on my Telegram feed that says it too. So shoot, I was gonna tell my friend about JFK thing earlier and I forgot. So yeah, Gates has a resting heartbeat of 0. True enough. Yes. So we are going to wrap this up because it's been like a little bit over 2 hours, 2.5 hours of Raven blabbing today. I love you guys so much, though. It's such a great day. Like, I really did want to share that. And uh, what else? I'm just reading some more. Oh, JFK thing. I did read it to you guys a while ago, and I'll read it to you again. So about the Jesus thing, if you hadn't heard of it. So I've got it in my email. Uh, do, 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 do. Da-da-da-da-da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do, 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 do. What the heck is it? You just all love that song, don't you? Where the heck? Oh, there it is. But it is. Okay, so I'll reread it again. So, Prince Syed H. Issa Clooney. This is the real father of John F. Fitzgerald Kennedy. The Clooney family descended from an ethnic minority called the Druze, and they inhabit the Golan Heights. This family originally from the towns of Qunnaltura and Majdal Shams, the Golan Heights of Israel. The town of Colouni in Mount Lebanon, 45 kilometers southeast of Beirut. The family tree of Issa Colouni is very well known in Lebanon, Syria, and Israel. Issa means Jesus. The Druze are descendants of Jethro, the priest of Midland in the Bible, and Torah Exodus 2:18. The 16th president of the United States of America, Abraham Lincoln, descendant from the Clooney family. Remember, JFK's autoimmune disease is a genetic disease. Both parents, Lincolns, are Clooneys. The Kennedys are direct descendants of Yeshua ben Yosef. You know him by another name, Jesus. So that's what that means. So, who makes who feel dull? Oh, I wasn't hoping to make you. Oh, about the song? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey, that was on Sesame Street not too long ago. But yeah, so that's um what I meant by the JFK thing. So they're already like Abraham Lincoln, JFK, and Trump are all related as far as I know. So, and that was my suspicion early on about JFK and Trump being related. So that's what I think. That's important about Jesus and Lebanon. Yes. And the reason why, too, is a lot of, like I said, if you go back to the Bible, when Jesus was kicking the bankers out of Babylon, that's why he got crucified. So, what's going on now on our planet is Jesus is kicking the bankers out of the universe. So we're not using that anymore. We're not giving up something physical, which is like work or like slave labor. We've been doing slave labor and sweat equity to get our own money back our whole lives. True enough. There's a World Trust Fund with all this money in it waiting to be unleashed on humanity. And it's not going to look like money. It's going to look like ability to infinitely heal the universe and repair planet Earth. So we've been working our whole lives to get that tapped into. So that's what the Great Awakening is about, lifting off the veil of all that crap and then moving forward and connecting up in our heart space to that new system of quantum energy. So yes, I took that oath too. I'm Melissa. Red pill of the world. No, I didn't. Um, Avenging scapegoat. Yes, much easier to preach to choir than to recruit for it. Yes, I true enough. So yeah. So that's pretty much what's going on. I will read only one card before I go, just because they're fun. Okay. So please place us in our higher selves, so we may clearly see, think, feel, and know the divine messages that wish to come through this card reading. Right there. This one is busy as if it's a bee, I'll laugh because I just said busy as a kid in the box. There you go. This we've been getting a lot of the swan. Swan, swan, swan. I'll read it again because it's so awesome. Swan, transmutation, trusting the psychic gifts. Oh, it's 74 and 47. Nice. This card represents a transformation from one state to another, from the ugly duckling to the beautiful swan. It signals a period of growth that will ultimately be life-changing. The swan says that you may change so much that you may not recognize yourself in the end. Most important, it's time to honor and love this change within yourself. Then not only the most beautiful reflection will shine back on you from a mirror of your life. This one says, dive in and you will love who you become. It also reminds you that you need to trust your intuition and your psychic gifts to guide you as you go through the process of wonderful and ultimate change. The swan is companion, excuse me, of the high priestess, who has the ability to part the mist to serve separate Avalon for the physical world. The swan can dive into the lake on her behalf and find treasure that human eyes cannot see. The swan reminds you to see with your heart and listen with your spirit, and the whole world can magically be transformed. Yahoo! I love it. I love it. How about you? So, thank you very much for tuning in. Um, we just really need to keep transmuting these vibes that are kind of freaking us out and triggering us. That's super important. So thank you for Samantha for helping me realize that the world out there got a little bit nutso today. I was clueless. So it's awesome to keep this connected. It really is. We are all a circle of light beings working together to get through this ascension as happily as we can. Exactly. We are the world. We are the children. And you know what I was singing? We were singing "Heal the World," make it a better place when we were out in the forest. And I think we're gonna record some out in the forest the next time we go out. So we want to just drop in everywhere and sing it all over the place. Thank you very much for hiccups now again. So yes, "Heal the World" by Michael Jackson. hmm The world is wacky today. You know why? Because yesterday we went through a little shift that's pushing us into this next lunar eclipse. So if you didn't figure out your triggers from last week, then guess what? They're going to present themselves all this week until you do. And if you didn't figure them out until the next eclipse, guess what? They're going to be like Klingons. So let's do some really inner work. Now is the time to go inside. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Light and love to everybody on your journey. Hope it's not too bumpy of a ride. Write some letters, shed some tears, cut some cords, have a nice saltwater bath, transmute the energies, but above all, try to get 20 minutes of sun on your pineal gland every day. Light and love. Take care, guys.